to Welcome to Shriner's Clubhouse, My Mind to Your Mind. This is your host, Dragonborn, and the reason that why I am not in front of my sign is because I'm actually moving soon. So, yeah. Although I will show you my new sign. You will see it. You'll see it tomorrow in the episode I make tomorrow, and I have a interesting thing for you tomorrow. So, in the meantime, I'm sure you saw my upload. If you subscribed to my channel, you probably last week saw my upload because I went to the Kennedy Space Center and I uploaded a picture reel and a vlog. Well, this week I wanted to do an episode on rockets, and this will be my episode of how rockets work. Tomorrow I'm actually going to do something entirely different from rockets. But I wanted to do a rocket one here. So, what is a rocket? Well, a rocket is a means of propulsion that we use mostly to get into space, but first started off as just a way for us to blow each other up with missiles, and it's essentially like a controlled. Basically, it's an action-reaction engine. It works by Newton's third law of motion that states any action has an equal and opposite reaction. So, if you throw, say, this pillow down, and there's no force to counteract it, you'll gain a small amount of momentum upward in reaction. A better example would be if you threw a baseball in space. The act of throwing the baseball would push you back. Although, because your body is a lot more massive, you wouldn't go as fast as the baseball. Now, this is essentially how a rocket works, but for instance, like a NASA rocket, it takes, let's just say, a lot more energy. And what I mean a lot more energy, it essentially takes the equivalent force of a nuclear bomb. That massive thing of fire coming down, yeah, that's equivalent to the whole force of a bomb of the same. Oh, sorry, the light in my room is kind of doesn't. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, that massive plume of fire. That's the equivalent amount of energy to atomic bomb. It's essentially a controlled explosion with most of the explosive force going down, and in reaction giving the ship, like maybe something like the space shuttle, upward momentum. Now, the choice of fuel you can use varies depending on what kind of load you actually want to launch. For instance, if you're making just like a homemade rocket, then something like Mentos and Coke, the two most volatile elements known to man. Not really, but if you see anything on like a Mentos Coke reaction, you'll get the joke. But you could use that. You could use that for a rocket. You could also use something like sugar and use that in a combustion reaction. It provides upward momentum. Yeah, a lot of people say it's not rocket science when something is not complicated, but when you get down to the basic essence of it, rocket science actually isn't that complicated. The real complicated part comes from like the engineering and the construction of the parts that you're trying to lift up and to make sure that they do not literally blow up from the force. Because a rock, for instance, like the SLS rocket, it's called the space. If I'm correct, I might be wrong on this, but it's called the Space Launch System. It's NASA's newest rocket they're working on. All like NASA rockets do this, but let me explain what it does. Like the controlled explosion that they send down, it doesn't just produce the shockwave from the explosion. It's the acoustic vibrations from the actual launch, if you don't somehow weaken it, is so great that it will literally either both destroy the rocket and or the building that the rocket is next to. So they have to actually dampen the sound. That's one of the downsides of rockets. You have to have a lot of energy going down to push it up. That's why we're trying to work on like alternative means of propulsion. But for now, we're just stuck with chemical rockets, which I should get into the types of rockets as well. Normally, the type of rockets people talk about are either solid fuel rockets or chemical rockets. Chemical rocket is in two separate categories, but it basically mostly works by like a combustion reaction between two elements, and that provides the energy going down to launch the rocket up. Now, this could be either sugar or liquid oxygen and hydrogen. Whatever it is, when it comes to liquid fuel, it does the same thing. When it comes to solid fuel, it does the same thing as well, but sometimes the solid fuel can vary. For instance, the solid fuel used in some NASA rockets actually oftentimes is baked into a 11-point star formation. That's basically like a three-dimensional like star with 11 points. And the main reason why they actually make it that way is so that what's Ash? Is so that it can get you can get the largest amount of surface area for it. Well, that'll basically conclude my episode on rockets. If you want to learn more, there's a lot of other resources you can go to get more detailed explanations, but what I labeled was essentially the basics. I hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow, look forward to tomorrow I'm actually going to be performing my first experiment on this show. I think you guys are going to like this. So please like and subscribe to the channel, and have a good night, and let the science be with you.